What's poppin' everybody, Jay here. I had a lot of fun playing with the idea of the Kanto clones in Pokemon White, but now I'm going to try my first Mono-type challenge. Today I'll be seeing if I can beat Pokemon White 2 with only Fighting-type Pokemon. Though Fighting is a really good offensive type, our two biggest obstacles will be the Flying type, a pretty abundant type in Pokemon, and Psychic, originally thought to be one of the most overpowered types in the entire meta. However, with some of the Fighting-type Pokemon available, and the coverage moves they receive, I don't think this will be anywhere near as bad as I think it is. A few ground rules. First, I can only use Fighting-type Pokemon in battle, or at least Pokemon that will later adapt a Fighting type. This is convenient as one of the starter Pokemon evolves into a Fighting type, so we can get one without even modifying the game. Second, no items in battle, though I will be using some help items on some Pokemon to better help in battle. Once again, I will be using the Universal Pokemon Randomizer in order to evolve any trade Pokemon in an easier fashion. Let me know in the comments where you think I'll run into trouble first. I honestly have no memory of what's in this game other than the same Elite Four members from the previous game, so any trouble I run into will be a mystery. And with that out of the way, please be sure to subscribe for more videos, and let's hop into this. Starting this game, some of the animation in it is really beautiful, and it's weird to see what you could do with the sprites as opposed to the 3D models in later gens. Like I said in the intro, Tepig eventually evolves into the firefighting type Emboar, so that's the starter I'll be choosing for this run. Also interesting, I got a female starter, which is pretty low odds if I remember correctly. Before doing any more plot related things, I went up to the ranch that is just north of the first town to get our second team member, Riolu. Lucario is going to give us a solid wall of defense without sacrificing speed, like some of our other future members. Charon, one of the rivals from the first game, is our first gym leader, and he specializes in normal-type Pokemon. He spends the first 5 turns of the battle raising his offense with Workup, so Tepig doesn't have much trouble taking his Patrat down after a few tail whips to lower his defense. His Lillipup faces a similar fate, going down after a few tail whips and tackles. He does end up taking down Tepig, but Riolu comes in to save the day. Right after this fight is a fight with Roxy, the second gym that specializes in Poison-type Pokemon. Tepig evolved into a Pignite, so I started with him to take down Coughing. We go back and forth with a few tackles and flame charges, finally taking it down. That is, until she uses a potion to heal back up to almost full health, so I have to do it all over again. Luckily, once it gets taken down, Flame Charge is super effective against her Bug-type Whirlipede, so it goes down in one hit, winning us the badge. So this next little section of the game really frustrates me because it won't let you move on without starring in some kind of Pokemon contest movie thing. And then once you do that, there's no real indication on what you're supposed to do next, so I ended up walking around for like 30 minutes talking to everyone trying to figure out what to do, before eventually giving up and looking up a walkthrough on Google. After that, we can finally leave the city to find the rest of the Unova region, getting dropped off at Castelia City. I end up having to go through the sewers under the city for the next bit of plot, but I have no idea what to do again, so I look up a walkthrough. This game might not be as difficult gameplay-wise, but it certainly has less hand-holding than future games do. After making it through the sewers, I found a Timber to add to the team. Since I once again fixed the ROM, I won't have to worry about the trade evolutions. I make it all the way to Berg, the Bug-type gym leader, and go for Pignite in order to counter all of his Pokemon. I take out a Swadloon in 1 Flame Charge, Dwebble goes down in 3, and Leavanny goes down in 1 more. I honestly think that Berg's team got worse in this game compared to White 1. I end up getting the badge without losing any Pokemon. On our way to the gym, we run into a trainer named Colress, who I remembered is kind of plot important, so I recorded it. I did forget, however, that he was a Steel-type trainer, so our Fighting-type Pokemon aren't going to have much trouble with him. There's another weird part of the game that we have to deal with between gyms that includes things like some kind of underground trainer facility, the battle subway system, and the Pokemon pageants. They really just kind of threw stuff into this game to pad it out. Why did people say that this is one of the better Pokemon games in the franchise? I don't understand. Our next battle is with our girl, Alessa, the electric-type gym leader who has gotten more fashiony over the past few years between games. I send out Girder for a Mulga and get Volt switched immediately, and a Flaffy comes out. I go for Bide and get Volt switched again into a Mulga and take it out in 1 hit. The Flaffy comes back out and I switch to Lucario. I go for a Bone Rush to get off some Ground-type damage, but she switches into Zebstrika and I take it down to half. She goes for Pursuit and another Bone Rush takes it out. Flaffy is the last one out and gets taken out in 1 Bone Rush after we survive on only 11 HP. Again, I think these teams are getting a significant downgrade. I think I searched out in the desert for about half an hour just to find our next Pokemon, Scraggy. We have a significant weakness to psychic type Pokemon as it stands right now, so having this dark type coverage will be super helpful in the long run. For Clay, I send out Scraggy to get some experience, but she gets taken out after getting Krokorok down to half. I send out Girder, and he pretty much cleans up shop with the rest of the team. 1 wake up slap for Krokorok, 2 more for Sandslash, and another 2 for Excadrill. Like, having the Palpitoad in Pokemon White was just the better team. I'm not sure why they decided to dumb down some of the gym leaders in this game. Was it to make it easier since people complained the first one was too hard? I don't know, but we got our 5th gym badge anyways. After this, I got lost again, and ended up having to waste time in the Pokemon tournament to fight Hugh, Charon, and Colress, who were all pretty weak to fighting type Pokemon. I really need to start doing plot research before these games. I never have any idea what's going on. After this, we run into the new Team Plasma, who have transferred from looking like Knights of the Round Table to Pirates in the Caribbean for some reason. There's a Caribbean. Caribbean? Caribbean? Whatever. We make our way through Chargestone Cave without a whole lot of problems, so after grinding a bit to get everyone leveled the same, we take on our biggest type advantage problem, Skyla. We don't have much to counter her since we're weak to flying type, so I'm just gonna have to brute force it. I start with Scrafty to counter Swoobat, who luckily goes down in 1 crunch. Out next is Swanna, so I choose to stay in but get taken down to Air Slash. I send out Conkeldurr and go for a Rock Slide to take it down to above half, but get taken out soon after. Out next is Emboar, so I go for a Flame Charge to increase my speed and almost get taken out, but I get 1 more Assurance in before getting taken out. Out next is Lucario, who can start to chip away with a few returns on Swanna. I keep avoiding her Air Slashes, which is really saving me some health. Swanna gets taken down, and Skarmory is out next to get taken down in 4 Force Palms. Luckily, I got the Paralyze so I could outspeed for those last Force Palms. I was at 17 HP, so I think there was some glitch in the AI that wouldn't let her attack me for some reason, but we'll just file that under the "we take those." Since I keep getting lost in this game, Bulbapedia says I now have to go to the cargo area next to the gym and fly to a small town with a strange house in order to progress. We make it to Undella Town to heal up and fight Hugh for some easy money and experience, and we finally get another team member in Mindfu. I thought that Mindshao learned some psychic moves, but I might be wrong in that, but we shall see. Also, I thought that we weren't able to get any of the Sword of Justice legendaries until the postgame, but turns out we can get Cobalion and Virizion within the next few towns. I'm not sure if Cobalion can help me any more than Lucario can, but Virizion actually has a very helpful typing for later. We head over to Opaloid City to get to the next gym, Drayden's Dragon types. Once again, we don't really have anything to counter this type, so I'm kinda just have to throw myself at it. I start with Conkeldurr, now with a Flame Orb to up his attack thanks to his Guts ability. Druddigon can be kind of annoying, so I go for Hammer Arm to take it down to the red. He goes for a full restore, so I go for a Wake Up Slap and take it down in 2 hits. I also get taken down, so I go for Emboar as he goes for Flygon. I go for Arm Thrust and get taken down to 11 HP from Earth Power, so I get taken out the next turn. I send out Scrafty to go for Payback, and I end up taking it down to orange. 1 more Earth Power takes me down to orange, and I take it out. Haxorus is out last, and I stay in to go for a high jump kick to take it down to orange. I go for 1 more high jump kick to take it down to red, and it takes me out. I send out Lucario to go for Shadow Claw and take it out in 1 last hit, winning the badge. Again, this wasn't nearly as bad as his other team for some reason. As I left the gym, a giant pirate ship flies over Opaloid City and starts freezing the entire town over. Team Plasma Grunts also appear all over the city, so I end up kicking them out, as well as one of the Plasma administrators without much trouble. We make our way over to the final gym leader, Marlin, and with Virizion, his water type isn't much trouble. Caracosta is out first, and is quad weak to grass, so I go for a Giga Drain that would have taken it out if it wasn't for Sturdy. He goes for a Shell Smash to increase his speed, and Hyper Potions on the next turn. Giga Drain takes him to Sturdy range again, and 1 more takes it out. Wailord is out next, so I stay in, and Giga Drain only does about half this time. He goes for Bounce, and as a grass fighting type, that's quad effective against me, so I get taken down. I go to Scrafty in hopes to get some damage off, but he goes for Bounce again. It only does half, so I go for Crunch to get taken down to a Sliver, and Payback takes it out. Outlast is Jellicent, who gets down to red with 1 Crunch, but I get taken out. I go out to Lucario and finish the fight with 1 Shadow Claw, getting us all of our badges in order to get to the Elite Four. Being completely honest about this next part with all the plot and everything, it was just so boring and tedious and mind-numbing that I barely even remember recording it. I mean, I caught Terrakion, which is cool, but I don't think I'm even going to use any legendaries in the Elite Four, because it seems like it'd make the game too easy. After that, we were taken to the ship that was seen above Opaloid City that we have to go on. There were a bunch of pointless battles with grunts that led to this really weird switch puzzle that led you to a fight with a Shadow Triad who don't even put up that much of a fight, that led to the box legendary Kyurem, who you can't even fight at this point in time. However, there was one important fight on this ship against Colrus, the weird scientist guy from right after the third gym. He starts with Magneton, so we go for Embor, and Arm Thrust doesn't do that much. He paralyzes us with Thunder Wave and outspeeds to get a Volt Switch in. He trades out to Magnezone and we go for a super effective Flame Charge, taking it down to half. We get taken out the next turn. I send out Conkeldurr as he goes for an Explosion, only taking us down to half. Out next is Behium, who I find out is neither Ground, Steel, nor Rock type and is pure Psychic. He takes us out in one move. I switch into Scrafty to take it out in one crunch. Klinklang is out next and goes for a Gear Shift to up its attack, but we take it out in one high jump kick. Out next is Metang, who tanks a crunch pretty well despite its psychic typing. He goes for agility to up its speed, and then goes for a full restore, and a Meteor Mash almost takes us out. One crunch finishes it off. Magneton is back out and is his last Pokemon, so we try to go for a high jump kick, but miss the attack and take ourselves out in recoil. I send out Mineshaw, and one jump kick finishes the fight. I'm glad he at least has some coverage for fighting types compared to our first few fights with him. Now we deal with more plot and head to the Giant Chasm to stop Team Plasma from doing more of whatever they're doing with Kyurem. We end up getting a really cool cutscene with N and Ghetsis, the villains from the last game, fighting off. N sends out his Reshiram, and Ghetsis uses a device that I guess can fuse some Pokemon together. There's a really cool animation that comes from this, and I swear it would have looked better on a regular DS setup because of the top and bottom screens, but I didn't bother to fix it in the recording for this, and it ended up this way. Anyways, we have to fight this fused Kyurem in order to free Reshiram to stop Kyurem from ending the world, yada yada. I end up taking it out with a few flame charges and arm thrust from Embor, so it's not really a huge issue. I don't think it would let me catch him at this stage, so I don't really bother. What is a real problem is the fact that we still have to fight Ghetsis, and much like the last game, he's kind of a little bitch. He starts with his stalling Cofagrigus as we go for an Assurance to take it down to half. He goes for a Toxic and heals with Leftovers, but we get a good head smash in almost taking it out. He takes us down to red with Psychic, and Toxic damage almost takes us out. Flame Charge is just barely enough, and we get taken out. I send out Scrafty, and he goes for a full restore, but 2 crunches take it down. Seismitoad is out next, and I have nothing for it. I go for a high jump kick in hopes to take it down, but he survives on a quarter. He uses Drain Punch to heal himself, but one more kick takes it out. Toxicroak is out next, so I switch into Mineshaw and go for a flying type bounce. It only ends up doing about 3/4, but it gets paralyzed, so its speed is down. One more bounce takes it out. Electros is out next, and he famously has no weaknesses thanks to his Levitate ability. I only end up doing half, so I get taken out. I go for Conkeldurr, forgetting about acrobatics, and get taken out in one hit. I go for a return with Lucario, and finally take down Electros. Out next is Drapion, who takes us down to orange with an Earthquake. We get it down to orange before getting taken out. Scrafty comes back out and tanks an Earthquake, living on 9 HP and taking down the Drapion. His last Hydreigon comes out and missed the Dragon Rush that would have taken us out, and we landed a high jump kick to win the match with probably the luckiest strategy I could find. I was really blessed with that last turn. We end up saving the day or whatever, so we can finally now go to the Elite Four. After some run-throughs, this Elite Four is a lot higher level than I first anticipated, so I end up just training a bit more so I can finally get a good run. I took a recording of my stats before winning Elite Four run, but spoilers, I didn't beat the champion with this set, so forgive me if the difference in battles is a little jarring, but let's get on with the show to see where I went right and where I went wrong. I ended up running the Elite Four with only 5 Pokemon as a way to make it a bit more challenging, and to save time because I didn't really feel like grinding another Pokemon to level 60 that didn't have any more useful coverage than what I already had. First up is Chantel, thinking Scrafty would have an easy time with her ghost types. Cofagrigus is out first, and this is less cheesy set, so it's not too tough. I go for Crunch immediately to get some damage in and end up getting it to orange. He goes for Shadow Ball thinking it'll do massive damage, but my leftovers basically heal us back. One more Crunch takes it out. Golurk is out next, so another Crunch comes out, taking it down to the red. She goes for a Brick Break and almost takes me out. She goes for a full restore next turn, and another Crunch takes it down to orange. I outspeed, so Crunch takes it out. Chandelure is out next, and I get taken out with a Fire Blast pretty quickly. I send out Embor, hoping to tank a Fire Blast, but get taken out in one Psychic, a move I didn't know it had. Mineshadow gets the same fate, but not before outspeeding and giving it a toxic to whittle it down over time. I send out Conkeldurr hoping to tank a hit and go for Bulldoze, only taking it down to orange. It heals itself with a Citrus Berry right after and takes me out. I go for Lucario next and Shadowclaw finally takes it out. Chantel's final Pokemon is Drifloon, who easily goes down in one Shadowclaw. Next I go for Caitlyn to tank her Psychic-type moves with Scrafty. Out first is Musharna, who goes down in 2 crunches, not getting much damage in against us. After that is Reuniclus, who tanks a crunch and goes for Focus Blast, taking us down to orange. It goes for a full restore and 2 more crunches take it out, since we outspeed. Out next is Sigilif, who gives us trouble because of its speed. It ends up taking out Scrafty in 1 hit. I send out Mineshadow and somehow outspeed, taking it out with U-turn. I go into Lucario to take on Gothitelle, managing to get it down to orange in 1 Shadowclaw. It goes for a Calm Mind, which gives us the ability to take it out in 1 more hit. Next I go for Grimsley, as his Dark-type Pokemon will not be too much trouble for the Fighting type. I start with Conkeldurr against Liepard. I know he'll go for a Fake Out first, which will outspeed us and activate my Flame Orb with Guts. I end up taking Liepard and Bisharp down with 1 Wake Up Slap each, but get taken down by Crocodile. Emboar also gets taken down in 1 hit. Luckily, Mineshadow survives a hit and takes it out with 1 high jump kick, and when Grimsley's Scrafty comes out, he too gets taken out in 1 hit with Mineshadow. Finally is the hardest Elite Four member, Marshall. We don't really have a good team that counters fighting types, but I put Acrobatics on Mineshadow just in case. Ernie comes out first against Mineshadow and gets taken down to orange with 1 Acrobatics. His Rock Tomb isn't very effective, and he goes for a full restore next turn. Acrobatics gets it down to orange again, and another takes it out because I outspeed. Out next is a Mineshadow of his own, who takes me out in 1 high jump kick. Not sure why he outspeeds me when I'm the higher level, but okay. Another high jump kick almost takes out Emboar, but we get a Flame Charge in to increase our speed, and we take it out on the next turn. Out next is his Conkeldurr, and our Quick Claw activates to go for a not so strong Flame Charge. He goes for a Hammer Arm that lowers his speed and takes us out. I go up to Lucario and go for a close combat to take it out in 1 more hit. Outlast is Bert, and I just barely outspeed and go for an Aura Sphere that takes it down to below half. He takes me out in 1 Brick Break, so I go to my Conkeldurr, taking it out in 1 Facade. Now we can challenge the champion Iris, who has all dragon-looking Pokemon, but we don't have a lot of good counters to that. I try at my current level and get swept almost immediately, so I go out to train a little bit more to get more levels on Lucario before fighting again. He's the only Pokemon in my party that currently has a Dragon-type move, and I can't justify getting rid of any moves so Scrafty can learn Dragon Tail. I also think that he's not fast enough to make a good use of the move. On my return visit, I didn't run into many problems at first. Lucario is strong and outspeeds a lot of Iris's Pokemon, so Hydreigon, Druddigon, and Aggron all go down in 1 hit. Haxorus survives due to a Focus Sash, but another Dragon Pulse takes it out in 1 more hit. Lapras also goes down in 2 Aura Spheres. Who really gives me trouble is Archeops, since it outspeeds and hits hard with its own flying type moves. Acrobatics hits for 110 base power, so it takes out Lucario and Emboar without breaking a sweat. Scrafty got a high jump kick in to take it down to the red, but he gets taken down soon after. I go into Mineshout and go for the Ultra Cheese strat and use Toxic to poison it, so it goes down in the same turn Mineshout does. But since I still had Conkeldurr in the back, I sneak away with the victory of the Elite Four and the Monotype run. This was definitely a challenge at some points. My main problem was I thought I had access to way more Pokemon than I actually did. Like I started planning out strategies for having Toxicroak and Poliwrath in the party, but I didn't know you couldn't get them until after the Elite Four. I think I could have beaten Marlin without Virizion, but I just wanted to see how strong it could be since I've never used any of the Swords of Justice before. I might take a break from the Pokemon Challenge videos. These aren't doing as well as I had initially hoped, and I have some great ideas for videos on my main channel that might require more attention. Who knows, maybe I'll just do more challenges anyways just because. It would probably be in Pokemon Platinum since I haven't played that game in a while, and I really liked it, even though it's super slow. I'll link my main channel down in the description, and I hope everyone who's interested can subscribe over there so I can do some more research-based videos than just playing Pokemon videos. I don't know, just something different. Let me know what you guys thought of this challenge down in the comments, and be sure to like the video, subscribe to stay updated, and I'll see you guys on the next one, whenever that may be. Thanks for watching.